Hello humans, this is Random Guy and welcome to the Random Channel. Today we're going to be reviewing another anime. This time we got Love Tyrant, or their Japanese name is Renai Bokun. I don't know how to pronounce that properly, but yeah, that's what it's written here. It's called Love Tyrant, normally that's what I'm gonna call it. So it's an ecchi romance show with like demons and gods in it. So it's pretty damn decent. The summary of the show is that there's an angel, a cupid, right, that comes down to make people fall in love with each other. But she ends up falling in love with the main character, and the main character gets like, I think at the end of the show, the main character has like 3 or 4 girls. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much the story. It's typical harem shit. But the thing that I personally like about this show is the fact that the way she makes people fall in love is using a notebook called the Kiss Note, which is totally not a parody of Death Note. This is funny. Basically, it says that if you write somebody's name in it and you put an X and put somebody else's name in it, they become a couple and they immediately kiss each other. Which she shows off its power by making the president and the vice president of Japan kiss each other. It's fucking hilarious, and they become a couple. So yeah, just like that, she is trying to make couples and all that. So she gets together with the main character and make more couples, I guess, despite the fact there's not much couple making, more of like random shit that goes around the show. So here are the pros and cons of the show. Pros would be the characters are cute and interesting, which is I generally say this in every single show I pick up, like when they're specifically with the girls. But generally, I say like cute girls, right? In this one, the girls are actually quite interesting as well, and their relatives and other people that come along in the show are very interesting to some extent, I would say. The main character actually looks fairly good. Generally, the main character is made to be the extremely generic individual possible. In a harem show, they generally try to do that. They don't try to go out of their way to put too much personality into the main character. Like I guess how that one show was Sword Online, one of the more famous shows. You should know about it if you're in the anime community. Sword Online, I think the creator even actually at some point said that the main character looks so generic because it's just a blank space for you to put yourself in his shoes. The main character is like that, so I mean, at least that's what we try to go for. But considering how ridiculous Kirito is, just the show just not cannot do that. But we're not here to talk about Sword Online. So the main character actually looks fairly good. He has a unique look to him, his hair and the way he looks. The main character is fairly reliable, which is good. Generally the main character is all wishy-washy until unless something drastic happens. But in this show, the main character is fairly reliable. The plot of this show is interesting, but what's more important and more fun and interesting than the plot itself is the subplot. Things that show up slowly and steadily in this series. I'm not gonna say what exactly, but that would be spoilers. But other than that, the show certainly does have a lot of interesting things that show up later in the show, which you did not think of at the first place. Because when you see those things at the start of the show, you think that this is just anime cliches playing out, but later you realize they're not anime cliches. They actually have some meaning behind them. Another thing, this one might seem like a fucking spoiler for some people, but believe me, it's not. I didn't expect a torture scene in this show. I mean, this does not look like a show when you watch it anywhere. Like, it does not look like a torture show. It's not exactly like brutal torture or like long extending torture, but it certainly looks painful. So it is certainly torture. It's certainly that is in the show, but that certainly did increase my interest in the show, considering I didn't expect that shit. Another thing is that the main chick, except for the main character and the cupid, there's another chick in the show with like a red hair, right? That chick She has a more of yandere personality. She would stab the main character when um, some he does something sexual with another girl or something along those lines. You get the point how yandere are. So she stabs him repeatedly, but that's just shown as like funny thing. How they do it, like hitting the main character for funny shit. Um, but that's what I thought at first as well, that it was just a cliche. But later in the story, the just the stabbing of the main character even started to gain meaning. So this show generally picks up stuff that other shows just bring and leave. This show picks up every single loose end. So certainly I like that. Um, there's a lot of kissing in the show. That's certainly a pro from my. It's certainly an advantage of the show, I would say. I think there's like equivalent amount or more kisses than even Campione, which is just a fantastic show. I mean, I can't exactly say the Campione is not good. Now that I remember about Campione, I'm gonna read its manga after I'm done with this. So there's a lot of kissing in the show. Certainly appreciate that. Other than that, let's get to the cons of the show. Is that it needs more ecchi, which is funny that just said it has a lot of kissing in it. But certainly it needs more ecchi because I would prefer if the main and the girls took a more hands-on approach. If they actually move forward with something sexual instead of just a kiss. And the kiss is very basic even, like if the show did not have hands where the main character squeeze some breasts or like put his hand underneath the skirt and grab her ass, something like that was not in the show, fine. But at least if you're going to introduce ecchi and you're going to put kissing in the show, and do it correctly. The show's kissing for the most part looks more like just slapping lips together. Is just like the main or the girl just like hold each other and just touch their lips, and that's about it, and that's what a kiss is. Except for like one or two kisses where they actually use the tongue or whatever. Other than that, the kissing in the show is extremely generic. Certainly something I don't like. Except for the one scene where the main character kisses a girl. It's nothing too major. I don't even think they even showed that particular kiss. But that was actually a very romantic kiss, so I guess you can let it pass. But certainly the show needs more ecchi. The main character can be dense at times with the same thing in other shows. Now, I recently was watching, I'm not even going to say that. I'm going to make a review on that anyway, so I'm going to say that then. But certainly a lot of these shows have the main character being dense. Bullshit going because, if the main character is intelligent and like catches on to shit, then, he will certainly know of every single thing the girls put forward, and if that's the case, the story is gonna move super fast, so that's gonna be a problem. A few more romantic things in the show would have been better, meaning like the kissing for the most part was not romantic, right? It wasn't even it was one of the most generic kisses ever. It was not romantic, it was not sexual, then what the fuck? It's just there for no reason. It's not that good. And as I was saying, the romantic excursions could have been increased, like picnics, date, a beach episode, some time spent together. There are very few moments in the show where they, just sit down, relax, and talk to each other, where like have like a romantic conversation or like understanding of each other. That would be something that I would have appreciated in the show, but certainly wasn't present in the show, unfortunately. So yeah, I'm gonna give this show in this particular genre of like maybe not supernatural. Yeah, I guess supernatural, ecchi, mild amounts of action, and harem. This type of show, I would say the romance aspect as well. Yeah, I will give it like a 7 out of 10. It's not super good, but it's not super bad either. It's decent show. It's a decent show. Maybe even 6.5. The show is not exactly up to the point. If they could like sort out certain things and increase the sexual stuff even and romantic stuff, the show would certainly deserve a 7.5 at least, or 8 even. But unless they do that, I have no way of giving that high of a rating. I certainly want a second season of the show. I personally liked it, and I'm gonna go and read the manga after this. So yeah, I'm gonna read the manga, so that's pretty good. So I'm gonna, usually when I watch a show and I'm like, I'm gonna read the manga, that basically means that that show's gotta be good enough for me to come out and read the manga. Hell, I mean, I haven't even read Death Note's manga, and that's like my favorite anime of all times. I've never liked an anime more than Death Note, and despite that, I've never read its manga. Funnily enough, um, I doubt there's much different in the manga, but still. Thank you so much for watching. There's a link in the description that goes to my Twitter. You can go follow me there. And on my there's also a link to my Dtube account, which will go to Dtube where I play hentai games. So you can go check that shit out. The instructions are down below how to unlock the NSFW content, considering Dtube hides that stuff initially. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and bye bye.